In today's video, we're going to be talking about Scarlet and Violet officially being released, what this means for the future of the Pokemon market, and why you should care. But before we jump into it, as always, we do weekly giveaways. All you have to do to enter is leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We post pre-recorded content for you to like and comment each and every week. Lastly, if you want to be a part of the community in any other way, we've got multiple links down in the description below. If we have spots available, I highly recommend you always check out our Patreon to access product at wholesale prices, or check out our link for the Discord, as we have an awesome, amazing community of like-minded individuals. But today is Monday, and you guys know what that means. It is weekly winner announcement day. So without further ado, drum roll to our 3 weekly winners. As always, if you want to claim your prizes, all you have to do is join the Discord and message me there directly and give me your information in terms of being able to validate that you are the correct YouTube channel that did win it, and just be able to know that I'm giving the prizes to the right person. But drum roll for the 3 winners. It is going to be Jose, Tom Piz, and Slipdog. Shout out to you 3 once again. Message me on Discord to claim your prizes for the week. One other announcement I would like to make. So I got a little busy last week because it was Scarlet and Violet shipping week, but I officially just posted on, yes, the PokemartUSA website. I know it's been a while since I've had some product on there. Some break packs, which will be opened this Friday. I know it's a little bit impromptu, but I still wanted to make a tradition of it and not skipping out on, just Crown Zenith and making it back on schedule. So we're going to be doing a Pokemon break for Scarlet and Violet this Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to know more about the details of what breaks are, what the content is of this, please check out our website, PokemartUSA.com. The overall description will hopefully kind of tell you what it is, but for most people that know, basically you're just going to have me open up your packs live on stream and then ship the contents to you. But jumping right into it now. Super duper excited about today's video, and there's a lot of very, very important things we need to have a conversation about. So the first most important one is obviously congratulations. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in the start of the Silver Borders era and standard rotation. It's official. We have a new format. So scoop up nets, obviously, if you watched my previous video Wednesday, highly recommend you do so, because it is it's one of my videos that I feel like content wise people don't really talk about a ton in terms of looking at trainer toolkits and other items that you can break down for bulk value. And so it's going to correlate a lot to what today's video is going to be. So if you want to understand a little bit more of the context, watch the video. As we saw, a lot of the items that I kind of pointed at most recently in terms of bulk value, cards that you could break down from certain items, have started to incrementally, or I should say drastically drop in price because they're no longer in the standard format. So scoop up nets, for example, they're no longer in standard. They're not going to be used in any of the standard format decks. And so value of those cards are just crashing, right? What does this mean for a lot of other items? Their prices are going to go up because the meta is changing, the meta is shifting, and this is extremely, extremely important to take a look at, because going back to opportunities that I had a discussion with you guys about in ways to find money in Pokemon products outside of the obvious, flipping the general sealed product of booster boxes, elite trainer boxes, these are the things you guys need to be paying attention about. Obviously, before we jump really into it with the with the individual trainer cards, let's look at what has just been going on with Scarlet and Violet as a whole. Let's see what is kind of boding for us when looking at the current prices after the release. So as we can see right now, Scarlet and Violet booster box has slightly gone down, but this is, not that unsurprising. Typically speaking, when it comes to set releases, usually depending upon the hype, you either see the price absolutely skyrocket leading up to the release date and then kind of flatline shortly after its release because there's opportunities for people outside of storefronts to list, or if the demand is uber high for a set such as Brilliant Stars, such as Evolving Skies, you'll see it just keep going up until there is some form of a resupply or product dump a couple weeks after the release, but that's very untypical. Typically, it's more or less just goes down a little then sideways, so Scarlet and Violet kind of doing what we anticipated. The packs, however, have quite drastically gone down in value. We're now seeing them sell for roughly around $339, $343 in pack price value. Obviously, for most pack prices, you're typically going to see them sell for on, after release around the $3 price point. So you're seeing that reflection of that 10% MSR increase when looking at the Scarlet and Violet packs on the official, change of the inflated prices. Now taking a look at just the overall singles, we see that some of the cards have already started drastically dropping. We'll kind of rank this from market high to low just so we can take a look. But Miram, obviously this was a pre-release, or this was a card that was extremely valuable on pre-release because it's going to be waifu mania over the next couple sets from some of the leaks that we've recently seen. But I mean, pre-sale for $265, that's insane, unsustainable, but already dropping down to sub $100 pretty fast. Looking at cards after that, obviously we have some of the EX cards, which at their highest, 130, already dropped in price 50% since, was this the release week? No, this was still once again the pre-release week. So these cards realistically were already dumping in value before they were even released. I mean, we're talking 50% dumps to the point of where just the day of release, it dropped almost 50%. And then weeks before that, it was dropping. So we've seen nothing but just a continuous drop in the overall value of a lot of these cards. So I don't really expect things to change unless there's going to be some competitive viability with some of the cards, or we're going to see some, how do I want to say this? Some art designs that are randomly just kind of flip around, skyrocket up, whether it be a waifu effect, whether it be like a Machamp or Aerodactyl, where people look at the art design and say, this is amazing, let's just say this is undervalued and just buy up a ton. Like, it's entirely possible one of two of those things could happen. So I would say be on the lookout for that. But right now, just doing the same old that we traditionally see with cards for new releases, just going down. But this going down a lot faster, we should say, than anticipated. But maybe the hype has started to kind of cool down now that everyone sees the new silver borders. But after looking at Scarlet and Violet, now looking at the more important cards that we need to have a conversation about and what you guys should really be on the lookout for. So we give a little bit of a shout out to Poke Deals community on this one. We have a couple of other cards that aren't going to be shown here, but we're just going to be having a discussion about Regieleki and Gardevoir. Both the character rare and obviously other variations have recently skyrocketed in value. Regieleki went from $3 to $18.85, and Gardevoir went from $1.82 to now $11.68. Why? The market implications are totally not shown from a demand perspective outside of their just playability with the new standard meta changing up because of the rotation. So you're going to see a lot of these cards pop up in value. And why this is extremely important is you're going to want to pay attention to certain items that are going to hold value to promos and how that's going to incrementally increase the value of these specific items that you can break down for profit. I talked about this one on Wednesday. I'm going to bring this back around. But the Kirlia with Gardevoir seeing now an absolute skyrocket in price in terms of its overall value. What the expectation is at this point is we're going to see that exact same thing happen with the Kirlia, since literally the release date, if we go and take a look at the sales history from shortly before the release date, as you guys can see, the price of the card was selling roughly around the, we'll say at the average point, it's around $5.30 to upwards of $5.70. And since then, we see it now at around $6.45 to $6.50. So the price of this card literally within the past 3 days since the official rotation and since the increase of Gardevoir's price point has gone up almost an entire dollar. So where did we get these cards from? Why do we have a discussion about this card on Wednesday? Because it's a part of build and battles, whether it be the stadiums or just the standard build and battles, and the promo value for this card just keeps going up as it becomes predominant within the meta. You're going to see a lot of cards that are going to be like this, and you're going to see a lot of opportunities to find these cards and make profit off of it once you break them down and acquire the promos, and just, whether it be open up the packs or sell off the packs. So huge, be on the lookout for this. I think it's extremely important that people are aware of this because there's a lot of cards that are going to have tons of opportunity. I mean, I'm talking if you're someone that's sitting on some Silver Tempest, sitting on some Astral Radiance, sitting on some Lost Origin, I highly recommend, if you do have some bulk, whether it be just regular holos, whether it be common and commons, there's going to be some cards that are going to be, you know, originally 10, 20, 30, 40 cents that are going to pop up to $2, $3, $4 as we continuously see the market drastically shift with new cards becoming extremely popular with the new standard format. So super duper important that you guys pay attention to that. But outside of that, what's another thing I wanted to address other than the big standard shift rotation? I've had a lot of people ask me questions. Hey, Eli, there's been rumors going around about an Astral Radiance and a reprint for Brilliant Stars booster boxes. Is this true? Is this true? I wanted to address this because I think there's a lot of misinformation going around. So, as you guys are aware, I've got 4 distributors. Technically speaking, I have 5, but I really only use 4. And I went and looked at all of the product lists that my distributors have, whether it be allocated, non-allocated, just list of whatever product they tend to have available. And when it comes to Astral Radiance and Brilliant Stars, only one of my distributors had booster boxes. And that one distributor, I talked to my sales rep, he said that he found a backstock in the warehouse. That's what he informed me. He said, hey, I found some product in our backstock on our inventory list and no one just knew about it. So we had a couple of left over. Here's the situation on what I'm able to get for you. It was a tiny amount. The majority of it was heavily allocated, or the majority of it was put on bundled deals. Some of the patrons, you guys know what those bundle deals were. They basically tried and say, hey, if you want to buy it at wholesale, you got to take some Battle Academies, Battle V-Decks, you know, the same thing most distros already do. Outside of that, all 4 other distributors, not a peep, not any sort of information, whether it be allocated, non-allocated, doesn't matter. No bundle deals from them. And that's the thing, is most of the time when we see a small resupply, if it is something like this, where every distributor gets it, you'll usually see some form of a bundle from other distributors, even if it's heavily allocated. Did not see that with any other distributor. So my guess is this was just a supply that was found in the back of one of the distributors. And it just so happens that they were able to, you know, have a large enough of a quantity to make a stir in the market. But even then, that large enough of a quantity from one distributor is going to make a tiny difference. And so this is not a resupply. This is not a reprint. This is, you know, more or less just a small amount of product that did end up floating onto the market. And so I think it's extremely important that people are aware of that, because I don't want there to be any misinformation, because trust me, we've been having this conversation about reprints for the longest time now. We're all still very hopeful of what's going to happen in May, which is what it seems to be the most recent information that we know of in terms of when we're going to know what's going to happen with reprints in the future. Or at least that's what's been told by some of the sources we found out, such as Football Pete. So who knows, though? It's all speculation, anything past that. But at the end of the day, that is all for today's video. Hopefully you guys found it very informative. I do think today is a day where you guys should really start to do your research and start looking at some of the cards that are going to have opportunities in the future and how this could all of a sudden play into. Because here's the deal, guys. Although you're seeing a lot of cards pop off right now, there's still a lot of cards that if you just know the market, just even a little bit, if you know the playability of certain cards, just even the tiniest amount, there's been opportunities where some people will look at a card and be like, hey guys, I think you should totally look into this card because I think it could synergize well with this deck. And then lo and behold, a couple weeks after we have a conversation about a card like that, it ends up skyrocketing in value. So there's always going to be opportunities to look at cards, look at products that are going to have these promos and so on and so forth. So now's the time for people to start doing their research, because especially with sealed product being super duper scarce, you're going to have to find other ways to make money. And that's going to be coming with the new standard format change. And another thing too, with the new standard format change as well, all cards leading up to Shining Fates are officially out of rotation. So no more chance of reprints, in my personal opinion, for any of these sets from the first half of the Sword and Shield era. It's only happened once in history. that being evolution. So I don't think history is going to ever, repeat itself in that same context unless it's on a massive scale, like Evolving Skies goes to $1,000 a booster box a couple months after being rotated out, but who knows? We'll see what the future holds with sets like that. But that is all for today's video. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you want to enter into our weekly giveaways. If you want to support the channel anyway, links are down in the description below. Check out our Patreon if you want to be a part of the community of like-minded individuals. Check out the Discord, links down in the description below for that. But that is all for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you all on Wednesday. Peace.